I first encountered the named person scheme when my youngest son was having difficulties at school, so the headmistress decided to put him on a flexi schooling timetable with help from a teacher who would come to the house. The teacher that came to the house didn't exactly teach, but she did start to make a friendship with me. We just chatted and I told her about being a single parent and how it was difficult, but little did I know that she was reporting everything back to the headmistress, who was the named person. So they held a multi-agency meeting, of which I was told the night before I'd no need to go, and they talked about my past, my present, my other son, his schooling, my relationship with their father who I'm separated from, just things that actually had nothing to do with education or my child's needs. After the meeting I was called into the school and they told me that I would have to accept voluntary social work, and if I didn't, I would be reported to the reporter on the grounds of my son missing some of the well-being indicators. I remember breaking down and crying because I didn't know what was going on. I felt like a bad parent. I went home thinking, what on earth just happened? I went back the next day to the school and said to her, I was totally confused. I didn't know what was going on. And she just kept saying, I would advise you to take our advice or things would get very bad for you. I was scrolling through the internet trying to find out what had just gone on, and I came across the No to Named Person website, and it suddenly dawned on me, what was happening. So I contacted Alison Preuss, and she told me that the best thing to do would be to put in a subject access request to get the minutes from the meeting that had been held. When I finally got the minutes through the subject access request, we were absolutely horrified. I noticed that there were at least 15 people at this meeting, some of who I didn't know or had never heard of. It was very personal, had very little to do with the education. A lot of it was misinformation. There was gossip from the teacher that was sent round, things like what my son was wearing, how one day he was wearing a onesie when she came round to visit, gossip about the past relationship that I'd had with the two boys' father. It was awful. I just was so humiliated. It was like my whole life had been pulled to bits without me being there. I wrote to Perth and Kinross Council complaining. Basically, I got no apology, nothing. I also met the teacher who came round to help, and she did apologise to me. She said she was sent round to spy. She had to because it was her boss that asked her to, being the headmistress. I just wanted my son to have an education, I didn't want any of this. I just felt it was none of their business. I'm still getting over it even now. I feel I am living proof of the dangers of the named person scheme. It allows so-called professionals to interfere in every personal part of your life. They can gather up your medical records from your GP, not just your child's, but yours, or your partner's, your husband's, your other children, any family member. It's just Big Brother. Big Brother at its best, and it should never have been put upon Scotland at all. Thank goodness for the No to Named Person campaign. If I didn't find out about it, I wouldn't have known what to do. I don't know where we would be now. It was a great support. Thank goodness for the Supreme Court's decision because it has stopped in its tracks. So Mr Swinney, if you really do want the truth and want to find out what the named person scheme actually does to decent, honest parents, why don't you talk to us? We'll tell you.